We're back.
Wait, are we live now? Did you catch that?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Hi, everyone.
Welcome back.
We had some technical difficulties, but whatever. Welcome to Victor and
Houston,
Veronica.
we had a problem.
Yes, but this is Victor, I'm Veronica, and welcome to our dope-ass show, An Inconvenient Truth at an Inconvenient Time.
An inconvenient truth at an inconvenient time.
Yeah. And that, yeah, what?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right, good. So, today we are brought to you by Maker's Mark, which is in this lovely glass that Victor is sipping on, right? But what you should do with this Maker's Mark is put it in this beautiful glass called Vaportini. So what you're going to do, after you pour your Makers in, you're going to then light a candle, set this bad boy on here, and then when it gets all steamy and hot, you're going to vaporize, because that's what vapors do. And then you inhale.
And it's like when you, like people that smoke, when they have the hot box,
Yeah.
it's like you get contact
That
from
contact.
the makers.
Yeah. So I'm just going to start blowing this in your face. You
Okay.
like it? You with it?
All right.
All right, so now we're just going to jump into it because we don't want to waste any more time.
No.
With all the nonsense that's been going on this week, we want to start off with Lil Wayne.
Lil Weezy,
With his
F
little
baby.
dirty ass. Don't he look dirty?
He sips a lot of promethazine, so
That's that syrup.
that's that lean. That's in that.
That's why he was
the
in that
styrofoam cup.
video looking like
Yeah,
this
he leaned with
and
it.
talking.
Rock with
So
it.
my thing is I don't know why anyone is asking Lil Wayne for his thoughts as if his political views matter to me, or I'm sure you, and he is not a spokesperson for the black community, so you already get a big X for that. But I understand they're just using it because they're running with it. He's already said some ignorant shit, so they're going to continue to go. My problem is that I can't respect someone whose first language is English and I still need subtitles to understand what you say. That's a problem for me. I don't like it and I'm not with it. But now that you're talking and everyone's engaged in
I'm just hearing his voice.
Yeah, because
and I'm looking at
the subtitles, because you don't understand, they
that
don't
man
match.
taping me. He a white man.
He a white man, I'm not me getting mad.
Right.
Whatever.
Yeah.
But what he failed to realize is this. If you were saying that Black lives don't matter because it does not relate to you, you're starting this stupid and ignorant conversation as if Black Lives Matter don't stand for anything. And just because it may not directly impact you on a daily basis doesn't mean that behind the scenes you aren't that man that's running for the other man. And he's also written songs.
Yeah.
More recently, he was in Solange's song Mad, which is one of my favorite songs on her album. And he's talking about specific things about how he walked into a bank and he's getting side-eye because he wasn't expected to have this money in his account. That's racism. Dude, you've experienced it. Why are you so ignorant to it? What's your thoughts on it?
So I'm not mad at Lil Wayne.
Okay.
I'm not mad at Lil Wayne at all. I am upset at the people who expect Lil Wayne to say something of intelligence. Again,
So true.
I'm looking at it like the Republicans, right?
Yeah.
So at some point, you had all these Republicans that were backing Donald Trump, and then the tape comes out where he says he likes to grab the cat, right? He wants a little snatch game. But then all these Republicans like pull out, and they're like, "We're not supporting you anymore." And I'm like, "Really? That was the thing that
was
did
the thing.
it?
It wasn't
Right?
everything else.
Right? Wasn't everything else?" So it's like going back to Lil Wayne. It's like, really, this is the thing?
Yeah.
You know, like he was in the hospital because he drank so much lean.
That he was seizure.
Right,
Okay?
and you know, like that stuff like kills your brain cells. Like Joe Clark,
That's
like
true.
it, like they're gone. So every time he opens his mouth, I'm just like, I don't care what he says because I don't come to him for intellectual information
At all.
I want to hear the Carter 5, or is it the 4? Is it Carter 4?
It's Carter 5.
I want to hear Carter 5. I do.
Mhm.
Yeah, but I'm saying, after he gets done off the stage, I'm not coming to him asking about like Syrian refugees, about what's happening in Aleppo. I'm coming to him like, yo, like where the lean at?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
And let me get some hot 16. Let me get some bars.
right, where the bars at?
Bars
That's all
at.
I
Let's
care.
get in that studio time.
You know, like going back to like Dave Chappelle, he was like, when we have placed so much, you know, importance on celebrities that we sort of like, it's us. We should be mad at us.
Yeah.
At the fact that like we even go to Lil Wayne and we expect him to be like, hey, can you share
Do you
with
think
us?
people are going to him? I don't think people are going to him.
Why are we mad then?
It's because he's looking stupid on TV.
And when did he look smart?
True.
So-
You're right. He never looks smart.
So I'm just saying, like at the end of the day, he's good television. He's good entertainment. But that's the lane. That's the box that he sits in for me.
Right.
At no point am I going to find out anything about racial relations in America based on what Lil Wayne says.
Or any substance. Any information that has some form of substance. You're
I mean,
not even expecting
But
him
I'm
to
saying,
say
let's say that he drops a jewel
Okay.
it's like, all right, well, there you go. Like that's my one takeaway. But
Right.
I'm not coming to him for
it.
information.
Yeah. I don't know if anyone actually is. I'm just wondering if people expected a bit more, and I feel like
They do,
right?
and
but
that's
we
why they're
expect-
hurt.
Yeah, so that's where it comes from, because we expect celebrities, when there's some form of injustice that reflects this specific celebrity,
Yeah.
we expect you to come forth because you have the power to do so. You have the audience to say this, and people follow you.
Yeah.
So because Lil Wayne is at this platform where he can speak to all these people that he says when he goes to his concerts, and there's a mixed crowd, you have the power to really influence some people with some positive change. But because you're such an idiot,
Yeah.
this is a path that you chose.
So I'm gonna go left.
Do it all the way. We got to move on.
All right. So really
okay.
quick, really
Yep.
quick. So people say that the biggest thing that stops sort of like civil rights and black progression is the fact that we were all in the same communities but before integration.
Yep.
We were in our communities. We lived together. We worked together. At some point, when integration took place, we started making money.
Yep.
The black flight happened. People that had the wherewithal to move, who had the means and the wealth, no longer lived with the masses. At that point, people didn't feel connected to the movement that when they lived inside the community.
Right.
Lil Wayne is a classic example of that. He's not. He doesn't experience the same thing that you and I experience.
Right.
So yeah, he can say, yeah, like that's not me. Only thing I care about is such and such and such and such.
That affects me.
Yeah, but
There's some
because
truth to
he what?
that's his truth.
Yeah, but that's fine. But I'm saying
Yeah.
like the masses of people, like why are we listening? He calls himself a damn alien.
He is.
Shit.
He is.
He
All
looks
right.
like an alien.
Let's move on and talk about something that's outside of the world, outside of this world. You put me onto these dope ass shows.
Yeah.
Insecure in Atlanta.
Yes.
I've been laughing nonstop. Thank you so much for putting me on. But I know there's
Give it up
something.
to Issa Rae.
Yes, Issa
And-
Rae
and
went from
Donald
YouTube
Glover.
to HBO
Yeah.
and Donald Glover. Yeah, because
Yep.
he executive produces and writes.
The
Super
Diary
creative
of an
people.
Awkward Black Girl. Wasn't that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So dope. So you put me on, but I know there was something specific you wanted to pinpoint.
So I was having conversations with people because I think both shows are the sort of correlation between the two. They're both unapologetically black.
Yep.
And the writing is so rich. And as I was having these conversations, and I go to therapy a lot.
We got to stay on track. Keep it going. Keep it going.
Sorry. So I find it interesting that when I'm talking to people,
Yep.
especially like men, they don't necessarily have as much allegiance to Issa Rae's show as they do to Atlanta.
Okay.
So I'm curious, now that you've seen both, sort of what's your take on Atlanta versus Insecure?
So my thing is, when I watch Insecure, I don't understand how men that you've spoken to can't relate, because there was specific examples that they gave, and one of them was Issa Rae's boyfriend in the show. He was working on his business plan for I guess 3 or 4 years, and still
Start the business.
right. He was starting the plan, and he was still stagnant, and so she's hustling and working. And for women, that's a sign of like, you're not doing anything. You're not doing anything for me. So I don't understand how men can't relate to that, because that's how relationships usually break.
So a lot of the men that I talk to
Yep.
feel like it's like a men bashing show, like men ain't shit.
Men are so sensitive. That has nothing to do with anything. That is his truth. That is a form. That truth represents a specific population of men. That when they have their shortcomings, are women going to stand by and hold them down?
Right.
And so that's how it should be looked at, as opposed to a man bashing thing.
Okay, and
Right?
I'm saying I agree.
Yeah.
I like the show because I feel like, especially because like when you look at the lane in which Issa Rae, a professional black woman, 2030s, what the things that they have to navigate sort of right now in society is not only isn't it talked about, but in terms of like being able to create a show and write it from your voice, I feel like that has so much power. So I feel like a lot of people don't necessarily understand her voice.
Okay.
And so that's why some people are sort of like, I'm not really for that show. They can't get into it.
You should absolutely.
I think it's awesome.
Because I think it's relatable.
Yeah, I think it's awesome. And I think she gives a lot of perspectives that we don't necessarily talk about, but definitely are articulated, and we experience it. So, and again, like I said, it's unapologetically black. I do think Atlanta has a broader scope.
Yeah, it does.
I think it covers a bigger slice of the African American experience. But it's not to say that I like Insecure less because of that. I think it's a different lane.
Okay. All right, I think that's a fair point of view.
Yeah.
I find that when you watch these shows and you're seeing that when it's so specific to your truth, it may be hard for people to watch.
I mean, look at what Donna Brazile is going through right now.
Let's talk about it.
Right? She's been thrown under the bus. I mean,
Who's Donna Brazile, for people who don't know?
For those of you that don't know, Donna Brazile is the now ex.
Go ahead.
Excuse me.
That was
There we go. We're back. Donna Brazile is the now ex head
of the DNC?
chair of the DNC. She was the interim chair because the other the other chairman was kicked off for, giving Bernie. They said they didn't want Bernie Sanders to win, so they unfairly allowed Hillary Clinton to win the Democratic nomination. So Donna Brazile was the interim chair. What they found was that Donna Brazile was giving Hillary Clinton the debate questions
in advance,
and basically saying that Hillary Clinton just had a bigger advantage, a larger advantage to prep for the debate.
Okay. Now, let me ask you, did both of these women that, I guess, exposed some information that they shouldn't have, they were both let go, or did one resign and the other, what was that?
So the first, I can't remember the first woman's
Donna
name.
Weiserman, I believe?
Is that her name?
Maybe. Okay.
I don't know. So whatever her name is, so she was more so like they were forcing her to get out. Because it was right before the Democratic National Convention.
Okay.
Donna Brazile resigned. So as sort of like the stuff was building, she was like, you know what, I'm out. I just find it interesting that, considering all the scandals that Hillary Clinton has been in, at no point has anyone sort of thrown
her
under the bus, but Donna Brazile has gone under so much fire.
So she's taking all the heat and the L's.
Yeah, she's taking a lot of L's
on behalf of
Hillary Clinton.
Don't you find that to be a little hypocritical?
And Chris Weiner, is it Weiner?
No, Anthony
Weiner.
Anthony Weiner.
Anthony Weiner's
that
wife.
Name is so ironic.
Anthony Weiner's wife, who is another woman of color.
Yep.
Is also being thrown under the bus as well. And it's to go back to this show Insecure, it's like the women of color are take a lot of heat in the professional sectors of the world, especially in the United States, and it's just like we don't necessarily ever get their point of view. So that's why I'm saying I find it interesting what's happening with Donna Brazile in light of everything that Hillary Clinton has gone through.
Let me ask you, so we're going to switch gears a little bit. So in light of what Hillary Clinton is going through with this email scandal,
right?
She's taking a lot of flack on that side,
right?
And Donald Trump isn't, because he's facing rape charges,
right? He's
facing sexual assault charges,
right?
He's facing fraud charges. I mean, I could go on for days, but none of that
is baloney.
None of that is focused on right now because Hillary Clinton is catching all of it. So I feel like with all of these examples that we're giving and all these trending topics, there's a lot of hypocrisy going on.
Yes, of course. And so speaking of hypocrisy, look at what Melania Trump just did yesterday. She went and she had this whole platform talking about cyberbullying.
Yep.
Right? But who is the biggest cyberbully
Her
of them all?
Right. Out here giving noogies.
Right.
If you guys in the room.
Virtual mush.
For real. If you guys are in the room, please let us know your feedback and your thoughts. Who do you think out of everyone that we listed is the most hypocritical individual?
Right.
Donald Trump, Hillary Clinton,
Lil Wayne,
Melania Trump out here plagiarizing and then saying
who and so again, and I think we touched on this when we talked earlier.
Yeah.
I don't even necessarily look at people like Lil Wayne as hypocritical, because hypocritical to me signifies a little bit of intelligence.
Yeah, but this is
I think that they're oblivious.
No, because 1 minute he's writing songs, and he did it even with Katrina. He alerted everyone how the black people in New Orleans during Hurricane Katrina were affected, and how cops were killing people. He's aware.
Yeah.
He is aware, but I feel like the amount of drugs that he's taking has him so mentally disabled that he is not able to articulate himself well enough without subtitles.
I think Tupac was hypocritical.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, he could talk about dear mama, and then the next one be keep your head up, or Brenda's got a baby, and then do I get around. I think he was intelligent enough to know the wherewithal to
navigate through each of these channels.
And so, but he knew the hypocrite within himself. I don't think Lil Wayne is even allowed. I think there's a certain level of intelligence that he isn't even at yet to call him hypocritical.
So would you say he's remedial?
In a sense.
Yeah? Okay. Did he need a tutor? Victor tutors, right? He's a man of many jobs. I'm going to need you. Great point, guys, regarding the biggest cyberbully in cyber history. Thank you. Yes. Yeah,
and I just feel like with Lil Wayne, I think that he hasn't even achieved a level of intelligence to be called a hypocrite. I think he's just oblivious to some point. I think
ignorant.
That's exactly.
He's just ignorant.
I think he's ignorant. And so I feel like when he's in the Katrina and in New Orleans, I think he could look at the waters, see the houses underwater, and he could say that's messed up.
Yeah.
And considering like all the
Because
things
that's
that
basic.
right, because he can
See
look
spot run.
right. But then when it's like, okay, let's navigate the nuances and the subtleties of race relations in the United States. Like that takes some like gumption.
That
like,
takes you to read a book.
Right. You have to actually know some things to be able to
That's
navigate
true.
that space. So when he's talking,
Yeah.
he's talking out of his ass, which is fine.
Right.
We have a comment from Vince Ellis who says, "No, Lil Wayne does whatever he needs to trend and stay paid."
Yeah.
So we talked about that last week.
Shout out to Vince
We
in
spoke-
Detroit.
We spoke about that last week, specifically about celebrities using tactics to stay relevant. I understand what you're saying, but I don't know if Lil Wayne needs that level of attention because he's a well-known artist worldwide.
But I will say that because there's a lull, because we've been waiting for the Carter Five for a decade now.
Okay.
He needs to be a trending topic. So I do understand the logic, but I
That's
also
fair.
excuse me, but I also think that when it comes to Lil Wayne, that it's less about him doing what's hot and more so he just knows he can say whatever. Like, sir, you ever talk to somebody like you be at a party and like there's that person that just says whatever they think. You're that person?
I'm that person.
No, you're not that person.
I don't say whatever I think.
No, not whatever you think, but like literally like that person that's like he wants to say something because he wants to get a little bit of attention.
Oh, no, I'm not that person.
Right, and there's the person that's like, yeah, I went to Fiji, and
No one was talking about traveling?
monkeys, like there was some monkeys.
There was
and
water.
And so this monkey jumped in my face, and it was weird, right? And it's just like, shut up, nobody wants to hear that. You know what I mean?
Know
But
what you're talking about.
they want to be the loudest one in the room.
Got it.
Right? I do think Lil Wayne wants the attention, but I don't necessarily think that that's all that what it is. I think that there are other parts to him as well. Like I think he's oblivious because he will talk about Black Lives Matter at a concert.
Yes, but he won't acknowledge it
Right.
because he was in his feelings. But either way, let's talk about these feelings and acknowledgement of the North Dakota pipeline.
Ooh.
This joint got me hot, son.
Yeah, you were talking about
I
it all
was
week.
spitting hot fire. I was so mad because I cannot fathom how this is happening in 2016. There was a treaty signed. I know. Do I sound like Lil Wayne right now?
You can fathom it. You're sitting in stolen land. You can fathom it.
You're right.
You can fathom
This ain't even my chair.
it. Right.
You're right.
We can all fathom
So
it.
let's
We
break
get
it down a real quick history lesson. Now, I might be wrong with the date, so we'll hit you with the article on our new page, Victor and Veronica on Facebook.
Ooh, look at the shameless
Do you
plug.
like that?
Get it?
Yes. So listen, in 1861 there was a treaty signed with the
Ooh, you
yes,
gave dates?
and I read.
Okay.
1861 there was a treaty signed with the U.S. that they were going to fall back and stop killing these Native Americans and stop taking over the land. Standing Rock is that treaty.
Okay.
All right.
I'm listening.
I'm gonna need y'all to get off that
School
rock,
me.
stop standing on it, and let these Native Americans live. You are polluting
Standing
water.
Rock fell on us.
You-
We didn't fall. We didn't fall on Standing
Yes,
Rock.
stop killing. Like, this is insane. There was a genocide that occurred during this time when you guys took over America, which wasn't yours in the first place. And now you're trying to take over this land so that way the oil that you are going to produce doesn't even come to us.
Right.
That joint goes overseas.
Right.
And you guys are sitting there supporting these dumb politicians that are all for this just for money purposes, not realizing that the water ain't safe. Stop. Detroit and Flint, Michigan, that's a prime example. And then they've been poisoning water in Native American communities for years, and no one has been saying it. But now this is a huge issue. This water runs all the way from North Dakota, the Missouri River, all the way down to where? That's where I stopped, because I don't know.
You didn't finish the last chapter.
I didn't read that part.
It's okay.
I left it alone.
We'll have a link.
Okay, yeah.
With
So
the last
it's
chapter.
affecting everybody. Everybody. So if you haven't donated, I will tell you where to donate. And if you can't take a flight to go out there, just do something. This shit is so sad. And once again, it's hypocritical because the U.S., we are supposed to be backing these people. And we're not.
So I find it interesting because as I was thinking about this, I thought about the movie Avatar.
Yes.
Right, and I was just like, how beautiful is this movie, and how much did we all fall in love with the
Love story or with the mythical creatures?
what are their names?
I don't
the
know.
mythical creatures. Anybody know? Nobody remembers.
Nobody knows. That
All
movie
right.
was like ever.
So the blue animals that everybody dresses up as Halloween, we fell in love with them, and we fell in love with their story and their plight to save the big
Yes,
tree.
The big tree.
Right. And I just always find it. Now you want to talk about hypocritical?
Yes.
Right.
That's what we're talking about today.
So you want to talk about hypocritical? It's hypocritical to me that we can fall in love with a story in a movie about a mythical land that never existed, about an Earth or a planet that you want to save, and your own planet right here is being abused and destroyed, and we will never. And guess what? Here's the thing: we aren't going to do anything about it.
No, we're not.
because something will happen where, you know, we want to know why the CMAs took Beyonce off the website. We want to know why the other thing happened with Lil Wayne. There are so many distractions that we will have. We not woke.
We not. Y'all need to stay.
We stay asleep.
Wake up, stretch, and stand up. Because you know what?
Shout
Who feels it knows it. So once it happens to you,
say that again.
Who feels it knows it.
Hashtag.
Jaliv. So who feels it knows it. So once that happens to you, that's when you're going to realize that you need to stand up. But there is no reason for you not to stand up now. There's so many, this country is so hypocritical, and these people are out here supporting something. Let me tell you about something else that grinds my gears. I'm ready. David Duke, how dare you? How dare you go to an HBCU knowing that you don't like, you were what? He was the head of the KKK, right? And he's running for state senate in Louisiana.
He was a grandmaster.
What is a grandmaster? Because I only know Grandmaster Flash.
Well, he was like the Grandmaster Flash of the KKK.
Okay, so he's out here just spewing hate. What kind of world do we live in now? And then this hypocrite goes to HBCU and then starts a debate amongst other idiots that are in the room. How did you even get the leverage to do that? I'm gonna need Louisiana to stand up.
Yeah.
I'm gonna need y'all to wake up and fight that. And shout out to Dillard University, because that's where he was. Shout out to the students that actually protested. Unfortunately, there were guns waved in your face, and like most peaceful protesters.
So I feel as if right now, like, so when you look at like sort of the events of history, like, you know, World War II, World War I, Korean War, Vietnamese War, like, yes, there are wars happening right now, but they don't feel necessarily attached to our experience, right? We don't necessarily see soldiers in the streets.
Right.
And so I feel like there's some detachment right now.
We're disconnected.
Right. And so there's a cognitive dissonance, if you will.
Ooh, can you spell it?
No. Hashtag cognitive dissonance. There is a detachment that we have from real world events.
Yes.
You can watch Love and Hip Hop. You can watch Basketball Wives. And you can feel as if the world is all about, you know, your Instagram feed. It's all about what's happening at Club Live and KOD's on Monday. King of Diamonds, is that it? Club Live Sunday, King of Diamonds Monday.
It sounds about right.
So you feel like that's all the world's about. However, there is real shit happening. There is real shit
every day.
And whether you know it or not, there, you know, like, I am fascinated right now with watching like Viceland, with like all these different documentaries that are happening about people that are like, you know, trying to get into the UK. Like there is a place in France, I forget the name of it, but it's called The Jungle, and basically like that's where they go, where they try to get into
get away from society, right?
No. They're trying to get into the UK because they're basically refugees from other places. So whether we know it or not, there is real shit happening in the world. However, now coming back to this, is that we know the people watching this, most of us in general don't even feel an attachment to the land, because we know that we have to get to work at 9 o'clock or 8 o'clock. Hopefully you're on time. You know that on Mondays that there's Monday Night Football.
Yeah, you're distracted.
Right. You know that Saturday, like there is, you know, you're thinking about your kids and
you're thinking about yourself. Hold on, John Flowers. Thank you. David Duke is a former Imperial Wizard of the Ku Klux Klan. The only Grandmaster I know are Grandmaster Flash and Grandmaster Theodore. Word up. Thank you for your comment.
Thank you for because we wouldn't have known that. So I feel like we don't care. Like, where is North Dakota? Name
South Dakota.
Name 2 cities in North Dakota.
Ooh.
Fargo.
Is that?
Yep.
I like that movie. That was a good movie.
Fargo, and I know there's an Air Force base. I think it's Grand.
I'm gonna go with. Isn't there?
We can't.
Okay, we're not gonna hit over, but it doesn't matter. It's happening. Standing Rock.
Standing Rock. So I'm just saying, we are so detached from the land and the experience. And again, going back to the hypocrisy, like we care more about a movie about saving a planet than we do actually saving our own planet.
Yes, I'm gonna need you guys to wake up, but more importantly, continue to follow us because this shit is happening. Okay, we laughing, we talking real ish, and you're learning something all at the same time.
And I'm not gonna lie, I'm going to a party tonight.
You're doing it,
and this shit gonna be lit.
Where is it? Tell everybody where it is.
So my cousin is DJing, DJ Iron Dukes. We're gonna be
shout out
at Friends and Lovers tonight. Go see it. Like
in Brooklyn or
it's in Brooklyn. It's on Classen Avenue.
Okay.
You can go to Victor and Veronica. We'll post a link. And I'm going in tonight. I'm telling you, I am not going on a website tonight to go fight for Standing Rock. And so I'm a part of the
You're part of
hypocrisy.
the problem. Are we all a part of this problem?
We are.
All right, we're gonna do better, and the way to start is by following Victor and Veronica. watching us every Friday at noon because we're going to educate you. We're going to motivate you.
And a
to do
podcast
right.
is coming as well.
Yes, we popping, y'all. So, Victor, hit him with the handles.
Here we
Where are
go.
we?
So you can get us on Twitter at Vic and Veronica.
Ow.
You can get us on Facebook with Victor and Veronica. And you can find us on Instagram, Victor and Veronica.
Follow us now.
Snapchat soon to come. Don't steal that handle.
I got the Snapchat.
We got it? You did it?
Well, yeah. I'll tell y'all later when I get it together because you're going to follow us on Snapchat. And it's probably just going to be Vic and Veronica.
Okay, all right.
Vic and Veronica on Snapchat, y'all.
So yeah,
follow
and
us.
by the way, thank you guys for all the support. Thank you for the support in the last video. Thank you for sharing it.
Yes.
And this video, like it, share it, send it out.
Comment.
Right? Give us the feedback because we are not always right. I've been drinking Makers this whole episode. We've done 4 takes. And
Go to vaportini.com, please. And shout out to Makers for helping us.
Shout out to Makers, right? And by the way,
Bye, y'all. What you got to say?
I was just gonna say thank you again. I think my mama's following me. Like, that's crazy.
My mom really liked the last show.
And your mom
She don't like shit.
nothing.
She don't like a damn thing.
She met me in my face and was like, I don't like you.
All right.
I
Bye.
was like, well, I was waiting
That's my mom.